It's Providence Tarot, y'all.
We're here and we're live. Providence. And we're doing Gemini.
Yes, Gemini. We know that it's been a while since you guys have received your monthly from us. We are totally aware. But you know, like, that blood moon, that once we had that full blood moon, lunar
the retrogrades, baby.
The retrogrades and the eclipse seasons.
As you well know, I'm sure you've been doing all the things too. You're Gemini.
Right.
Right. I have Gemini rising. You know, he has Libra, double Libra placement as well, air. So there's a lot of just kind of spiritual movement going on. We've been busy.
People have literally been like experiencing all of these dynamic shifts happening in their lives in many different ways. It just depends on what's most important to you right now at this time of the eclipses and the full moon and, you know, retrograde season. It's funny because we have Mercury retrograde and now we're about to have a full moon in a mutable sign. And we're in mutable season right now. Virgo. Sorry, Gemini, but you know, you guys are related, so you can understand. Big ups.
What's been going on, Gemini? Are you guys out there? Talk to us. Oh, I see a couple of people here.
Yeah, they're watching. They're like they're being kind of platonic.
We didn't let you guys know we were going live.
Yeah,
so it's
we
kind
did.
of like
right. Look, Gemini, look, this is your reading, Gemini, right?
All right, so it is the day of Venus. It's Friday. And you relate to Venus in the sense because you're ruled by Mercury and you still share that kind of lover's card thing because Venus is associated with the lover's card, but Gemini is also associated with the lover's card. So let's get into your reading. We're going to do a cause and effect.
You being cause and effect.
I'm going to be effect.
Okay.
He
loves to be the effect.
Yeah, I'm going to be the effect. And I put energy into that because I knew he was going to use his deck of the Wild Unknown, and we'll clarify with the effect of the Psychic Tarot, which I love this energy. I can already tell you at the bottom, wow, it just revealed itself to me, is the Empress. Look at that, beautiful. So the Empress, isn't she glowing beautifully? You see that green there, it's talking about healing. You know what? I'm going to share a quick little story real quick since he's getting the cards ready. And this is very relative. You can see the heart chakra of the Empress there. I've been recovering from a little bit of summer cold that I had. And I was realigning my chakra yesterday, which is something that I haven't done in a while. Just taking the time to quiet down in the New York life. We live in New York City. And I was laying there listening to this YouTube meditation, cleansing myself, going through my different chakras, you know, my root chakra, red, sacral chakra, solar plex, and I got to the heart chakra and we were doing the healing meditations. I'm laying there in bed, and all of a sudden the phone rings, and then it's my sister calling about an emergency that she felt like she was going through kind of with a situation in her life. And I turned to her and I looked at her and I said, wow, you were meant to call me right then. It was right over my heart chakra, and I normally wouldn't answer the phone for anybody, you know, because I was in a meditation. But it was perfect, and I was like, you're in my heart, and we had this amazing connection. So I said all of that to be like, what's in your heart, Gemini?
Girl.
You know, what's there? And what is it that you want to express? Because this is very much talking about that.
Also, at the bottom of this deck, we have Jupiter and Pisces. Oh. Sorry, you guys, I just got a text. Nine of Cups. So this is really talking about how you're able to benefit from your own self-fulfilling satisfaction. What does satisfaction mean to you? Does it have meaning to you? Do you know what satisfaction is? Right? And this is talking about emotional satisfaction. Are you able to achieve that feeling?
Yes. And that's an accumulation. To have 9 cups is a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of emotion going on there. Anyway, and then Jupiter and Pisces Jupiter a lot of the times is the husband card, or it's the Zeus card, it's like the father card. Some male archetype in your life where you, if you're a male especially, it's you in this role of being a male archetype. And then with the Pisces being there,
I can't.
You know, it's like,
we spoke about all the mutable energy, and first of all, you're Gemini. This is Jupiter in Pisces. We talked about Pisces. It's Virgo season. The Pisces full moon is in like a couple of days.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of mutable energy right now.
Jupiter is a mutable
so we're
planet.
very changeable right now.
Right.
Let's get into your reading
Yes,
and see what's going on. I know it's been a while. Gemini.
Okay.
First card out. Wands.
6 of Wands, right.
Wow.
Another Jupiter in
First of all,
Leo.
I will say the first card to be out. This is good.
This is good.
Yeah, this is good. So this is great as a significator card. Look at the butterfly.
Right.
This is Jupiter and Leo. We were just talking about Jupiter being the male, being the higher learning, being the Zeus-like character. It could be the father, it could be the husband, your husband, or you as a husband, or any of those types of things.
Right.
Also, it could be like very much if you have a career or something like that, something that you are kind of like a patriarch of, you're being the boss of, or very Sagittarius in that type of way. You want this thing and it's expanding. You have this idea and it's expanding because this is also talking about Leo,
right,
which rules the heart, the desires of what you desire, your dreams. It could be a Leo that you want to be your husband. Right. It could be something like that. That's very like, you know what I mean? Or it could be like just in general, like your children, because Leos rule the children. Or like it could be like a short term, like your pleasures. Like, are you having pleasures? You wish you were having more pleasures. You want to get back to a place where life is pleasurable. And this is also kind of like moving away from some conflict. Maybe there's been some conflict because 5 is usually spiritual and it's a conflict. And you could be moving away from that conflict because this is the Lover's card, which is ruled by Gemini. So it's already supposed to be like this message is very clear for you with the 6 coming out first.
Thank God that you're opening this reading with this because Mercury just went direct, and this is a very direct card. 6s are talking about moving on, it's talking about finding harmony, and it's also talking about expansion because all of the 6s really have to talk about expansion, being a number 6. And this is saying like moving on to better things, right? Especially because you're coming out of the conflict here, you feel like you can actually breathe again, right? You feel like you literally are able to fly, and you're an air sign. So feeling the possibilities of what you're able to achieve is really important to you because once you know what you can achieve, then you can begin to start to formulate that. And this is a Wands card. So you literally are moving on to better things, doing better things, seeing yourself expand in the ways that you probably have always hoped for, but you never knew how it was going to formulate or how it was going to manifest because, you had the conflict of whatever was involved within your circumstances before, but now you're seeing that more is actually possible for you. And as the immediate influence, you have the Ace of Pentacles. So that really is saying that, yes, it is possible to manifest these things. And, in terms of him being a Gemini rising, I think that this is very accurate.
I think this is also talking about, with the Pentacle being there, it's like new. I mean, it could be a new relationship, especially because, the 6 of Wands, that's the heart, that's Leo. So it's already talking about like what you want in your heart and the spiritualness of relating to people and having faith in each other and loyalty and what we do this for and that type of thing. Things of the heart. Why we do the things we do. Very Leo, right? And then the Pentacle being there saying a new situation coming in that just has started just now for you. Whatever that is. It could be like a new struggle or it could be like a new love. It could be light or dark in that sense for you. And you are Gemini, so it could be 2 facets at the same time coming in, right?
And there's awareness to this card,
It could be a new job for sure. Some of you are starting a new job because, the fall has started and maybe you got promoted or your job moved you or something like that. So there's a change or you have to move or somebody's moving away from you or, anything like that. Or you're taking a commitment to a whole new level because some of you are like thinking about either starting a new relationship or taking a commitment to a whole new level, something like that. Because Six of Wands is like, I'm parading along. It's very much a lot of the times like a marriage kind of card because it's associated with the lovers.
Right, and there's commitment with the Pentacles, right? Because you're committed to acknowledging that something physically exists, right? It actually has value and you can appreciate it. And this is sort of like saying there are new beginnings in realizing what you are able to achieve, because Six of Wands is really like an achievement card, you know
Right,
what I mean?
and it's a personal achievement, so it doesn't, I mean, even though generally we think, oh, marriage and commitment and something spirited, if you're in a marriage and you wanted to get out of it, and that's a beneficial thing for you, then that could be your message too. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted a divorce all this time and now you're getting it finally, or you're ending the conflict, whatever the conflict was. You know, it could be either one of those situations. You know, because you are Gemini, remember, so you have to look at both aspects. But it is saying that there is a new situation, a new pentacle that's coming in, and it's going to make you feel like your heart may be expanding somehow or whatever.
This could even be you having more time for yourself. Saturn isn't really involved in this, but it could be, you know, you having more time for yourself. So in that way, you are expanding because you're having more of yourself.
Right. Okay, in the past, you had Jupiter again. Wow. Lots of Jupiter. Oh, a lot. Literally every card has been Jupiter so far except for the Empress. So that's very interesting because Empress is supreme feminine kind of energy and Jupiter is a very masculine yang kind of energy.
This is fierce, honey. Look at this.
This is very interesting.
Right. Bam. Oh, the guilt.
So this is the past.
Honey. Right.
Right. This is the past here. You see the butterfly in the cocoon.
Right, that's like what you know. You know it's
right before it came out. This is like what's surrounding you, what's covering this whole transformation. This is what you're trying to achieve, right? Which is the butterfly. But what happened recently is Jupiter in Gemini.
Prior to
that's
having this feeling, right?
So that's like Jupiter doesn't really like to be in Gemini because Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius, which is opposite you. So it's like opposite those things. It's like going out, doing, conquering, being fiery, like all this type of stuff. And you're kind of like more analyzing and more on a social aspect. It's more like socially kind of like
Jupiter,
seeing what's going on.
Jupiter is more direct and to the point.
Right.
Kind of like Sagittarius.
Like the bolts.
Right, exactly. So it's like when Jupiter's in Gemini,
Gemini's a little everywhere.
He just feels a little bit out of place because he's not able to get anywhere, really. He feels like he's just stuck in this mutable energy that is familiar, but he understands that this energy is actually not for him. But he's being forced to sort of be there, right? You're being forced.
Because here it's saying, because Jupiter expands everything.
To be there.
Think about it this way. Jupiter expands everything. Think about the planet. Jupiter is primarily gas. So it's like touch something and you get more of that thing, you know, like that Midas touch kind of thing, right? So it expands even the most negative things too.
Right.
So in your thoughts, if you're expanding in your thoughts, that's not really as positive because now you're not going to be focused. Right, so you're thinking all the possibilities, every bad thing that could possibly happen.
How did I get here?
You know what I mean?
This is the how did I get here card.
Yeah, making it worse than it is, or just dramatizing everything about it. And this is the past, so you already know you did it. Like it's already happened.
Right.
You know.
Another 6.
Now we're looking. Now we're looking up at the goals that's crowning you. And then you got the six of Pentacles there, which is a beautiful card. That's the goal of what you're trying to achieve,
Moon and Taurus,
which is Moon and Taurus.
This is comfort.
Exaltation.
Right. This is
Moon
comfort within the boundaries that you set for yourself and other people who are around you. So this is sort of like, it's not restriction, but it's like formulated. It's like you've built the restrictions up so that you know what's what. How to get in, how to get out, what stays, what goes. It's Taurus energy and it's fixed. So they're very set in their ways of knowing what works for them, right? So that's how this energy sort of like appropriates itself in this reading for you, because after the realization that you were in a situation that you really didn't want to be in, and you finally were able to free yourself of that, you know, there's a new beginning that takes place on a physical level because you're not necessarily tied to that thing anymore. And now it makes you just feel a little bit more freedom, a little bit more abundance, and you feel like you're able to accumulate things for yourself in a better way. It's like more meaningful for you to take care of yourself now.
This is definitely primarily talking about a lover. So, like, come on, Gemini. Come on if you're coming for me, but I know it is pretty much. Like, it's talking about your lover. Either you guys are really happy, or you're really unhappy, or you've gone through a transformation, or maybe there's a new situation that's coming in, and hopefully, it's a really refreshing version of whatever is going on. Mm-hmm. But it's definitely talking about, because the sixes are here. So, sixes are your cards, which is the lover's card. So, this is a lot of deep feeling. Whatever it is that you've been going through recently, you have been feeling. Right. You really have. And with Jupiter at the bottom here in Pisces, it's like the ultimate feeling.
He was just about to say it, and I was reaching for it at the same time.
It's like you're still going through the feelings of it. You're still going through all these emotions of it. It's like maybe it's something started, and it's just a journey of it. You know, it could have been something sudden that came in, but it's definitely associated with a lover or with something deep in love. Right. It could be work. Right. You could be doing a career that is like your lover. You love it so much. You know, if you're like an artist or something like that.
You're definitely seeking harmony in many different aspects of what
I'm seeing change though, and this is good because you need it after this.
Right.
But Jupiter is all through this too, so it's like the husband card again, or the father card, or this male that's affecting you somehow, or had affected you in the past, or your idea of that, your idea of what that means.
Right. In the air section here, you've got the sun card, which is number 19, and that's representative of Leo. So the sun is your heart. It's your creativity, and it's how you are appreciated by other people, you know, and it's also how you are appreciated by yourself, and you know exactly what you have to offer. So the thing is that you're not really going to deal with having to relate to any situation that isn't really there to relate to you as well.
In your air section here, this is the air, so this is like mentally, okay, with the sun being there, it's talking about the awareness of something. Mm-hmm. You already know. You know what you're doing. You know what they did. Right. You know. Everything's out in your mind. You might not actually be acting it out, but the awareness is there. Right. So you're not stupid. You know what I mean? You're Gemini. You're pretty witty. So playing stupid might not be very effective right now.
You got the Pisces card too.
There is some in like the cause being here. The cause. Let me show you these cards. Okay, so you got the sun here as the cause, and then the effect being the high priestess. It's talking about there might be some choices that have to be made, or some sharing of some deeper feelings and understanding somehow. Right. Or maybe intuitively what you thought would always be is. Right. Intuitively what you thought was going to happen and how it was going to play out, it's the time now. It's going to start playing out this way.
This is a strong section for you guys being Gemini. So I feel like through your abilities to really communicate and be aware of what you're communicating, you're actually going to allow other people to come to their own realization and kind of in a more intuitive way. It's like when you express something to someone in a subconscious way, Pisces, then they can come up with their own deep spiritual appreciation for whatever it is that you've revealed to them. But it's not like you're saying, this is what I'm telling you and this is what I want you to understand. It's like them understanding it for themselves, but it's by way of something that you have prompted. You know what I mean? Because you are aware of it and you make them aware too.
Yeah, I'm getting a strong balance here of like some type of masculine and feminine energy for you. Whatever that means for you, because I know if you follow us on the weeklies and go in and listen to your weekly after this, because we're now doing weeklies on YouTube, so you can go in and listen to your weekly. But the Lover's card came out this week for you, which is your card. Mm-hmm. So this is definitely talking about the lovers a lot and deep emotions again and analyzing the subconscious versus the conscious,
right.
your need with this other person, and maybe you're karmically tied together somehow, but you can't control how that is, but it's still happening as the Lover's card because you're karmically tied together.
Right.
So it's like you're still experiencing each other and affecting each other. So you're analyzing all of that, and there's an awareness of the masculine, feminine. Some of you are really getting being really aware of intuitively what you always knew, especially in that way, as far as what you have to offer, because the High Priestess is a lot about being and not like actually going out and doing. So it's the awareness of timing and the awareness of
That's a very sensitive place to be, the High Priestess, because it's like you almost have to be in a serene place to be able to pick up on the very subtle nuances that Spirit is actually reaching out to you with.
Okay, now a cup has revealed itself, and so you're getting a Fool right here. We have the Pentacle, the Wand, the Pentacles, the Wands, the Cups. They're all out. Swords is the past, so you're moving away from thought, a lot of like just thinking, and now you're going to start doing and see manifestations of things happening. So that's good. Now the cause was blended pleasure, so maybe, you know, there was something good but bad that happened recently somehow for you. Maybe it had always been something, and that is changing finally, and that's causing a new stable feeling for something, because this is Cancer Moon right here. So I completely understand that. Geo Gemini rising with Cancer Moon, so I completely understand this kind of like getting to this stability of what it is that you're sure of. Whatever that is for you, or it's like, well, in this section is talking about family or emotions. So
it's water too,
Yeah, and it's water, so you're definitely getting to a place in your emotions, or something happened and it solidified an emotion. Now it could be a good or a bad thing, but it's a 4. So it's like now the structure is there. There's a structure of this emotion. Maybe something externally happened and it has made this structure be what it is now. But you now know that you feel this way.
It's really interesting because you have the Temptation card as the effect, and that is the Lover's card, but it's just
like in reverse almost. It's the Devil card.
It's the Devil
card.
Like
just the physical, just the lust of it, not the emotions.
In the regular Rider-Waite tarot, it looks like the Lover's card in a darker energy. But the funny thing is that 1 and 5 is 6, and when you think about the Roman numeral 6, which you have here twice, it's the V and the I. So you got the I and the V and the V and the I, which is a reflection of itself, because you're looking at the external, and then you're looking at the optimal external, and you're looking at the optimal internal. So really, you are able to gain access to reflect, because this is a reflection card too. You know how things come to you when you're just reflecting on your day?
Some of you are on a little bit of a higher polarity. I mean, it is the Devil card, but some of you are getting to a place where you're getting really comfortable with something inside of yourself emotionally. And now you want to you might just act physically, like, because this is water. So this is talking about, like, this is a lot about love. It's obvious that it is. So a lot of this is talking about like emotions with other people. So this is like, I'm now feeling comfortable enough to be sexier, to be flirtatious, to focus on the physical, because this is talking about the physical, and then it's also talking about focusing on the now. Like, this is it. Since we're here and this is it, this must be it. Like, you're here, I'm here.
But that's the thing. It's like,
that's not necessary.
It's like you shouldn't get complacent in a situation that doesn't work for you, but stay there because it is comfortable for you. You know what I mean? It's saying that, like, yes, there is a structure here, but do you belong in that structure?
This is an opposition, literally. It literally is an opposition. This is Capricorn. This is ruled by Capricorn. This is Cancer Moon. You know what I mean?
These are like the extremes.
It's like your feelings are like against this like Sun and Capricorn kind of feeling of the awareness of like this temptation. You like in your emotions, you always come back to this place. Maybe it's an association with someone or with some habit or something that you do.
Ooh, just because something is established doesn't mean that it's working.
Definitely. Because it is definitely the 1 and the 5 here, so it's like breaking away from the establishment. Getting back to a place where, and that could be like on a lower polarity, it's like you running away, obviously, always just looking at the physical there. Because you're Gemini, so there's like a split happening right there in your emotions.
Absolutely. And when we look over here at this Earth section, because you're able to foresee what you are able to create for yourself, right? Sun in Aries.
Sun in Aries.
And then you have, what is this? Is this the Emperor?
That's 4 of Wands.
You got 4 of Wands here,
which is your
Venus,
base root chakra,
right? Which is Venus and Aries. Those are like there's so much creative energy right here, and what you're able to manifest for yourself. It froze.
It froze. Are you guys there?
It should come back.
Can you hear us? It's still going. Hold on.
Cancel. It'll come back. It usually does.
Well, you guys are getting a good look at this card.
Oh yeah, the time is still going. So
the card is, you're getting a good look at the card. Okay, so basically I don't have to hold it up there. But that's the 4 of Wands.
Very progressive too, because it's like once you're able to see what you're able to create, it's 3 of Wands that goes into the 4 of Wands.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like the potential for the creation and being able to see it, and then actually having it come into formation.
Yeah, the 3 of Wands here is talking a lot about like the awareness of self and just like what you want, like putting work into this, whatever this is, getting back to yourself, these feelings of self, and then it's the establishment, getting back to the place of Venus. Venus and Aries is like talking about putting work in the love of self and in the love of your passions, putting real work into establishing things. Or some of you could have had to go to a ceremony or something recently, or planning to go to a ceremony. You're going to, like a wedding or a funeral, anything like that. That's putting work, or you're planning something. This could be like planning something for the Emperor. Very Emperor here with 4 of Wands.
It's really good because it's like you're moving on from something that you felt that you were bound to because of the codependent relationship that forms over time, Capricorn, Saturn. But now you're realizing that there are good things about it and there are bad things about it, but at the end of the day, I do want to move on from this. And it's saying that because of your creative ties to spirit and what you're able to sort of share and project and create, you've got the Sun card here at the top. You're able to create beautiful things, wonderful things, You're very smart, Gemini. So once you actually get the 4 Wands together after the 3, there's a need for celebration. There's a cause for celebration. Because
there's conflict, yeah.
Yeah, there is conflict.
There's a little bit of conflict here, and so that's the celebration.
Right, this is the celebration of getting to the 4,
because this is Empress here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is coming back to the major arcana of the Empress, because the 3s are here. So it's saying you're going to have to put work into whatever it is, because some of you might want something to come back to, because the 3 of Wands very much is kind of like a longing feeling. It is a scope. You're definitely looking for something. It's very like hopeful, so you're trying to be very hopeful about, and it's a want, and it's spirited, right?
Put the energy out there. It's almost like if I put this amount of energy into something,
because Aries, it's going to be
I'll get that amount of energy back. But it's like you have to put the energy out there to see if it's actually going to come back to you. Because if you don't make an attempt to even try, then obviously nothing's going to come into formation.
Right, and some of you are putting the work into it, and some of you aren't. You know what I mean? Because that's really what it's saying. It's like, you know what you want in a sense, but are you working towards what you want? Especially in this Earth section.
Right.
Because, the possibility of making that into a solid thing of whatever it is might be possible.
Right.
So it's like you got to really put the work in to see this, see over this mountain. Right?
A lot of times, Gemini, you have so many thoughts that it becomes... It's paralyzing, but you're still able to have movement within that. It's not like it's being directed straight forward, you know what I mean? And when we come into your fire section here in the reading, your heart, right? And what you're able to...
And you started with, now, the reading is about the heart, because the first card that came out, the Significator,
Jupiter
is Jupiter and Leo,
Mhm.
right? Which is expansion in the heart. It's also about your ideals,
Right.
higher learning of the heart, of love.
Right.
It's not going to be just about something analytical,
Right.
which you're so good at.
You have to let your passions guide you.
Mhm.
Because if you are not passionate about
As it's
anything,
feelings and like
then
spirit.
right.
And cleansing, because
Right.
fire burns and destroys. So this is definitely talking about change,
Right. It's
right?
definitely a purification.
Purification,
Right.
yes.
Purifying
That's
for
a
sure.
good word. Purification.
And this card right here is the moon in Sagittarius, right? So this is being determined. Yes, it's also related to Virgo. Again, we got another 9 here, mutable season. So it's talking about understanding the process that you're going through.
See, that's there.
And how it is actually meant for you to rise up out of the place that you've always been. It's about expansion. You might be finding yourself faced with decisions and choices about things that you didn't really see yourself having to, initiate, right?
It's the same card.
Yeah, it is the same card. It's, yeah.
This is a lot. Wow.
Mhm.
This is so much about like relationships and things of the heart and like, you know, or even like some of you may have been being with someone. You could have been having a long-term, because this is a lot of Sagittarius. So you could be dealing with a Sagittarius because Jupiter is here a lot. Or you could be dealing with like a lover that you've been seeing for a long time, or like a hopeful thing that you've been seeing. And so yeah, like just Kendrick has got to go teach.
Yeah.
So he's just flipped out all of a sudden. Oh,
We
he
got
got
Gemini.
Gemini. Right?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself.
like,
Don't
yeah,
let
this
anybody
is-
take your passions away. And sometimes you actually just have to give in to your passions, even though you're being stubborn because you don't want to feel.
Yeah, you have to look at it. Like, you know, you get so annoyed with like actually looking at it. You want to keep everything light and fun and stay in your bubble and not be affected, even though you're affected. You want to have experiments and you want to experiment and probe and see. But when you start doing things like that, there are consequences to your actions, of course. You have to always think about that. You know, when you push something over, then it's pushed over. You know, like that you know what I mean? It might spring back. It might not come back ever.
Right. Right.
You
Take
know?
advantage of those opportunities. Jupiter and Leo. Leo will take advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself. So take a lesson from them.
There's a lot of evolving here in your heart. And so
Mhm.
that's really good. And you're going to get to a place where you eventually express yourself because it's karmic. Look.
All right, you guys. Have a great weekend.
Some of you are going to have a relationship around the corner.
And
Good
we
for
will
you.
see you next time. Email us at providencetarot@gmail.com.
If you want a reading, right?
Follow us on
Providence
Instagram.
Tarot.
Providence
Everything is
Tarot.
Providence Tarot.
Follow us on Facebook, Providence Tarot. If you want to follow him, he's at Blue is True with 2 T's. I'm NYC Kendrick. Bye, Gemini.
Bye, Gemini.